Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the Crochet Luna Vlogcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California, where I am recording on a very, very gloomy day. The sun has not come out. It's been raining and just kind of miserable. But episode 20, I cannot believe it. I can't believe that I have recorded 20 episodes here on YouTube, and that it's been a little over a year since I started my video recording journey, my blogcasting journey, and I can just tell you it's been so wonderful. I've met incredible people. I have all this fiber friends that I just would never have met if it wasn't for the blogcast, and I'm so thankful to everyone who is a subscriber, people who leave me comments. I feel very lucky to be part of the whole thing, and so I look forward to many more episodes. Let's see, life update. Well, May was incredibly busy. My daughter had her first communion. She worked really hard. For 2 years, she worked to go to class, and then she celebrated her first communion. And we had family. It was a very small event, nothing crazy. And then my husband and I celebrated 10 years of marriage. Yeah, 10 years of being married, and it was really nice. It's been really a nice journey. I'm lucky that I have a great partner in life, and he's an awesome dad, he's an awesome husband, and so I'm really lucky to be married to him. Well, he's lucky to be married to me too, don't get me wrong. I mean, really, come on, right? But anyway, he's a wonderful man, and we got to spend a little time together. We went to my good friend's wedding. He you know, like, you have friends that are like, they're just more than friends. And so for me, my friend Frank is like, he's like a brother to me. And we've known each other since we were in junior high. That would be like 1,000 years ago. I don't know. And we've seen each other grow and develop our talents. And it's just been really wonderful to be his friend. And I was so happy to share his wedding day. And so it just so happens that it was on Saturday, and I said to him, did you guys pick this day so that you could like share your anniversary with the royal wedding couple? What's up with that? But now we share an anniversary month, which is really good. We stayed in Long Beach where the wedding was at, and Brendan and I had some good food, and we had a good time, and that's how we celebrated our anniversary. So it was all good. So let's get started. I have lots to talk about, like I always do, and I'm actually going to start by sharing a pattern with you guys. One of the things that I wanted to do for my daughter's name is Sabina, not Sabrina, Sabina. She's actually named after my mother's great-grandmother. It's a lovely name, although I have to tell you, I wanted to name her Valentina because I love the name Valentina. And I was dead set that when my daughter was born, she was going to be named Valentina. But my mother and my mom's twin sister, my aunt, basically said, no, you should really name her Sabina. It's such a pretty name, and blah, blah, blah. And they finally wore me down. And yes, so her name is Sabina. And I wanted to do like a little, you know, when you do these events, a lot of times you have like a little party favor that you give out. But a lot of times I feel like when you get a party favor, it's like really cute and nice, but then you don't know what to do with it. So I thought I would do something that was a little bit more meaningful for me and a little bit more meaningful for the people who were attending. So I remembered a long time ago, I saw a pattern for something called a pocket prayer shawl. Now, it's not like a mini shawl. It's not what you're thinking. Maybe some of you have already seen this. It is actually, this was developed by, I believe, a charity. And I found a pattern for it on Ravelry. And so that takes you to a link to a blog. And it's called a mini prayer cloth. And this is by Southern Belle is the blog. And of course, you know, I'll put the links down below. And it's really just a little tiny crochet square with bobbles that create a cross. And so I decided, you know what, I know a lot of people in my husband's family who are Catholics. They pray daily. I know my mother-in-law does the rosary and things like that. And so I thought, you know, she would like to probably have one of these. And so I created my own little pocket prayer cloth. So you can see the baubles here. They kind of stand out. And I actually saw on another, on a larger one that was done, somebody had put a little tassel on it. So I decided I would put a little tassel on mine, and I did a different color border. And this is just cotton. This is that peaches and cream cotton that you can find. So I did that one. This is my prototype that I did, which I thought was a little bit too big. And you can't really see the cross. So I thought if I did it on a lighter colored one, that you could see the little baubles better, and then you could see the cross a little better. So that there's that. So I gave these out, and I did them in different colors. I gave these out as a little favor, and those went over really well. But like I said, it's a free pattern. So, and I actually like the idea of keeping this in my wallet, not in my wallet, in my purse. And I've been keeping this one with me, so you can take it wherever you go. So then after that, it was local yarn shop day, and I went to Yarning for You, and I'll talk a little bit about that when I get to my works in progress. But everything's been really well, you guys. Health-wise, I did have a couple days where I didn't feel so good. I think it's a change in weather, and I felt a little sluggish. I tell you what I've been struggling with is I've been struggling with insomnia. I've always struggled with it. That's why sometimes I see posts on Instagram from the UK, and I'll like respond like right away, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning here. So I've been struggling with sleeping a little bit, and I don't know why. It's just something that I've always dealt with, and it comes and goes. Did sleep last night though, which was really good. But other than that, everything's been really good. So let's talk about mouths and cows. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you've been watching the episodes, you know that Allie from Little Drops of Wonderful and I are hosting a Dodgy bag make-along. And it's been really, really good. It's been really fun to see everybody make their Dodgy bags, which, you know, I don't see the dodginess in them. I just see these incredible bags with these incredible fabrics, and I am so, so happy that so many people have participated. And I especially like to see comments that say like this was like the little push that was needed to get on the sewing journey, or this was the push that somebody needed to finish up some bags that they had cut a while ago. So I have had a really, really wonderful time with the Mal. And I reached out to Allie because as you guys know, I like to make my enamel pins, but I also wanted to try and create some buttons. And I wanted to test the quality, and I just wanted to test a company that I found on Etsy to see if it was something that I wanted to pursue, because I'd never done that. And I designed a button for the Dodgy bag Mal. And so the button reads, member, Dodgy Bag Club. And I designed this button, and if you look at the button, it actually has dodgy corners in the bag. I don't know that you can, and I purposely did that because it's a Dodgy bag Mal, right? So we gotta have some Dodgy bagginess on the button. So I created these buttons, and the company that I used has been wonderful. I really like the quality, and I really like how they work. And I told Allie, you know, that I want to give, and I want to make it clear that the Dodgy bag, um, what would you say? The term Dodgy bag is something that Allie has always said and always done, and I feel it's her term. And so when I made these buttons, I fully intended to give her credit, and I reached out to her to say, you know, I have these buttons made. I really like them. Would you mind if I sell them on Etsy? And she said, no, you do whatever you want with them. But then I got the idea that I would donate a part of the sale of the button to a charity in the UK. And she really liked that idea. And so I chose, through her guidance, the Parkinson's organization in the UK. And so my goal is to be able to donate at least 20 to 48 pounds, because I went on the website, which is Parkinson's UK. This is the website right here. And if you go on the website, you can see everything that they do, all the works that they do, and they have a donations tab. And so when I was reading it, it said that if you donate 48 pounds, that equals to 2 hours of research for Parkinson's disease. If you donate 20 pounds, it's 1 hour of care from a specialist Parkinson's nurse. And if you donate 10 pounds, it equals to 2 weeks of nutrient to grow brain cells to be studied in the lab. So no matter what happens with the buttons, I know that I will be making at least a 10-pound donation to the organization. But my hope is that if people purchase the button through the Etsy shop, that I will be able to raise money and make a nice donation on behalf of Allie and her dad. I am not one to talk about the situation there, because that's not my place. But I just would like to say that I know that Allie's dad was active in this in this organization, or he fundraised for them, and so I thought that that would be a good way to honor him. So no pressure there, though. I mean, the buttons are there on the Etsy shop, and some people have already purchased some, and I'm really, really happy about that. And so we'll see how it goes. Because, hey guys, Dodgy bags will be made for a long time, right? Like, we'll be making Dodgy bags forever. So if you want to be a member of the Dodgy Bag Club, you can get your little badge and then stick it in your bag. So anyway, I will put information to the charity and a little bit about what I was talking about in terms of the donation. I didn't do it as a formal fundraiser on Etsy because there's some red tape that happens there. Just know that if you buy the button, I will be donating proceeds of the sale. I will, wait until I get a good amount of that, and then I'll make a donation straight to the charity, and I'll show you guys, or I'll tell you guys about it when I do. So moving on from that, I want to thank everybody again who participated in the Fortune Cookie Cal and went back to vote for the favorite in the group, in the FO thread. I wanted to say that the winner of that is Stephanie, who is actually the Tatted Tatter. She has her own podcast here on YouTube, and she got the most votes for her blur shawl, which is beautiful. And so I already contacted Stephanie, and she already has her prize. She picked a pattern of her choice from Ravelry, so she has already received that. Then we have my neglected box of ornaments, Cal. It's June, you guys. It's June. This is exactly where I didn't want to be with my ornaments. I have got to get my act in gear and start whipping out some ornaments, because I don't have as many as I thought I would have by now. But I did promise you guys that I was going to pick a winner from the people who have participated and have posted their ornaments in the thread on Ravelry. And the winner is another podcaster, Ella, who is ellafofella, and she is also no catchy name on YouTube. So congratulations, Ella. I will shoot you a message and then you're welcome to pick a pattern on Ravelry up to $10. And thank you so much for busting out so many ornaments. There's a lot of you who have shared and posted a lot of ornaments. I also wanted to say that there is one bundle that if you click on the bundle tab up on the right hand corner of my group page, you will see several patterns of ornament. They're only ornaments. All the patterns in the bundle are ornaments. Some are paid, some are free. So if you want to get some ideas for ornament making for yourself, if you want to do the swap in November, or just to enter into the FO thread, check out the bundle tab and you'll see there's so many ornaments to choose from. All right, let's see. Now, I gotta stick to my notes or else I will get so lost, you guys. And already my notes are a mess. The next Cal I want to talk about is the Summer of Romance Cal 2018 that I am co-hosting with Clarissa of Crochetcakes. Now, I am so excited about this one. I really am. And I have my pattern, I have my yarn, I have my project bag, and I can't wait to get started. So I talked to Clarissa, well, I emailed her, and we decided, and she agreed, that we will accept WIPs that are no more than 50% done. So if you got started already, as long as 50% of it is, you're no more than 50% into it, we will allow you to enter the project in the Cal. So I don't know if I shared this with you, but my bad boy is, are you ready? Yes. This is my bad boy, Negan. Notice the red and the black. He looks so good in this picture, you guys. I love it. And I contacted my favorite dyer, who is Heidi of Wolfie Wool. And I said, hey, and we talked about it, and I said, I have this idea, and I told her the pattern, and I sent her the yarn requirements, and she says, well, you're going to need X amount, and, I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about that, and I said, I love it. I did share these on an Instagram live a long time ago, a while back, so some of you have probably seen these, but some of you have not. So my pattern is going to be the Blurred Lines sweater from Addie Day Design. You guys have seen this pattern. A lot of people have done it. I'm so excited to be able to work on this project. This is going to be the sweater that I take to Yarndale, and this is my yarn for it. Are you ready? This is going to be my two colors. So this one is called Smoke. And if you look at it closely, you will see little bits of red shining through right there. Speckled with red and black, but it has a nice kind of brown, and like she calls it smoke, and I can totally see that. And I love the dark black. But I am in love with this red. Look at, I can't even tell you how happy I am. So my sweater, if you look at the pattern, it's got like a light section here, and then you fade it into this darker section, and it goes back out to this lighter section. So for me, the sweater is going to look something like this, which I think is fantastic. You can see some of the yarn has more red than others. Like this one has, you can definitely see the red there. And here's her card. My favorite logo ever. I love it. And now this one is called Negan's Revenge, if I remember correctly. Yes, this is Negan's Revenge. Here's some of the stats for it. But yeah, look at that red. Oh, it's gonna look so good. You will definitely be able to find me at Yarndale if I'm wearing the sweater, because it's gonna be like this red. It's gonna be so cool. Well, and you know what's funny? Okay, let's talk Gage, because Gage and I have not been getting along. We haven't. I don't know what's happened, what planetary alignment or moon cycle is affecting my Gage, but I've done 3 projects where my Gage has been completely off, and I cannot. For example, I swatched for the sweater with the recommended hook size, could not get Gage. Went down another hook size, could not get Gage. So I don't know what to do. I really don't. So I just figured I'll go with the recommended hook size, and we will see. I'm gonna have to be trying it on constantly to make adjustments, because I can't get Gage. I'm not that off, to be honest with you, with the recommended hook size. That's why I chose to go with it. I'm not that off, but I'm not getting Gage. So I started working, and when I tell you I started, I mean, this is like a little tiniest of the tiniest bit. This is the part that goes up here. I just love the way that looks. And I have it in my beautiful Knit It, Hook It, Craft It project bag with this is the, I can't even tell you. I don't know what it is about this smell, Faye, because this is one of Faye's bags. I don't know what it is about the smell, but I literally will just sit here and do this, and I love it. I love the way this smells. And it's a big bag. I mean, I have just one of the balls in here because the rest of them are in this bag. So I'm keeping the rest of the hanks of yarn in here. I've only wound up the one that I'm working on, and I'm gonna have to alternate, but I won't do that until I get into the body. So right now I'm good with that, and I'm keeping my notions for it in my oh so awesome bag that Clarissa Beth from Dainty by Crochetcakes sent to me. And look what I added. I added this cute little teapot stitch marker, and then I'm using, because she asked for 2 different hook sizes, so I'm using a 3.5 millimeter, which is one of my polymer clay hooks that I made this one a long time ago. And then this one that I purchased from, oh my goodness, I will have to look it up, but it's this one right here, which is so pretty with the dragonflies. And this is one of those elusive 3 millimeter hooks that for some reason here in the States you cannot get unless you order them, because none of the big box stores carry 3 millimeter hooks. But I love the dragonflies on this. It's so pretty. So I have that in here, and I started, I mean, I have the little tiny swatch that I showed you, but I've worked about 4 to 5 swatches to try and find Gage and just figure out what the heck I'm doing. But so I'm finally going, like I said, what I showed you, which is that little swatch right there. So I got that started, only because I've been anxious to work with the yarn, and I wanted to put something in my beautiful bag, which I love. Thank you, Faye, so much. By the way, she really spoiled me. She sent me this beautiful bag, and then she sent me, and I don't have them here with me, wax fabric that she called it a wrap. I guess you can use it in the kitchen that's what I've been using it for, to cover food and things like that. And then she sent me these, which I put in this jar, which are these cream and rhubarb candies that I'm constantly having to hide this little jar because my daughter, oh, this is the company too. I just put the little sticker on there so you can see it. This is the company that makes the candy. My daughter is addicted to these too. She loves them. So I still have some though. Look at that. I've been doing really good. And she sent me a card, which is so beautiful. Look at that. I just love it. This is right up my alley. I love stationery and I love things like this. And I love the simplicity of the envelope and how this is folded. I know this is just silly to be showing you this, but these are the kind of things that I really like. I really like these details and things. It's just who I am. So I really appreciate you sending me that, Faye. So that is my Summer of Romance, and I have something kind of big to reveal about that in the next podcast when I actually talk about Summer of Romance in further detail. I've been working a little something that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So you gotta tune in to the next Vlogcast to see the craziness that I've come up with. All right. I gotta tell you though, if by some miracle I finish my blur line sweater early enough in time, I want to do a Dean Winchester project. Maybe something small. Because I am now on season 10 of Supernatural. I've been watching it like a crack addict. Like every chance I get, I'm so behind on podcasts. I just want to watch Supernatural. And what's funny is that I was tuning into one of Holly of the I want to say Yarn Journey podcast. I think that's right. I'll put it down here. And she's a huge Supernatural fan, and we were chatting back and forth, and I said, oh, Holly, we got to do a Supernatural cow. And she's like, we're totally going to do it. But she's like in the middle of moving like states. She's in the middle of this huge move. So I'm telling you guys, there will be a Supernatural cow coming to you sometime this year, because I am all about the Supernatural now. Anyway, all right, let's talk about the title of the episode. The title of the episode is The Craft Hustle. Yeah. I did a little bit of research. Not a lot. There's so much out there, you guys. There's so much out there. But I feel like because of where I'm at in the journey here with the podcast, with the trying to make bags, and with the Etsy shop, the pins, that I'm now, it's not a hobby, obviously. And I wanted to do some research and to see what our industry is like. What are things happening in the industry? I see, a lot of us who have come into podcasting and who have now turned into another path of trying to be a business. And I have a business background in the sense that I have always owned some sort of small business. First, it was being my parents' office manager for their small business. Then it was me as an independent bookkeeper, tax maker, which I had my own business. And so I always come to a project of, for example, when I started crocheting, I never thought, oh yeah, I'm going to crochet so I can have a business and make money and live off of that. No, I just started crocheting to crochet. But as soon as I started an Instagram account, I thought about well, what's a good name? You know, what's a good name? Oh, Crochet Luna. Let me tell you, I had so many ideas for names, and even my husband threw out some ideas for names. Like, he loved the name Crochet Ole. Don't ask me why. He loved that name. And even to this day, he thinks it'd be a good idea to have a Crochet Ole button with like a little margarita glass or something. I don't know. But I went through a lot of names and a lot of things, and then I thought at one point that I would crochet finished goods to sell on Etsy, because I went on Etsy and I saw that people were selling things. But I soon realized that I'm not a product crocheter. I actually have a commission that I'm falling behind on a little bit, because I have an order for like 5 hats, but they're all the same hat, and there's just different color yarn, and I'm struggling with that. Well, I struggled with that because my hands were feeling a little sore a couple weeks ago, and then I was busy. But I know that there's a procrastination factor there, because I know that it's a struggle for me to sit down and crochet 5 hats, all the same pattern. So I knew right away I am not a product crocheter. So the Etsy shop just was there, something that I started, and it just sat empty for months and months and months, maybe years, really, to be honest with you. So I am now at this point where I do have a product to sell, a product that I'm proud about, product that I'm trying to develop, which is the bags. And my first instinct is to say, okay, let's put it all together as a business. Let's see how we're going to do this. We need logo, we need cards, we need packaging, we need this, we need that. But I thought I would throw some things at you, because I want to encourage you. If you think that you want to start a crafting business, I think you should do it. I think that the excuses of, I don't think I'm good enough, or I don't know if this will sell, I think you just have to bite the bullet and start with the one thing. And I think you have to just start, because you don't know where the journey is going to take you. You don't know where you're going to end up. And this could possibly be a side gig, a side hustle, or a full-time hustle. I don't know, but I want to encourage you to do it, because I think there is enough room, and you'll see why, to do it. So I started looking up articles about the industry, but I first want to give you a definition. I love definitions. Hustle. Let's define what a hustle is. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines hustle as a transitive verb that means A, to crowd or push roughly, B, to obtain by energetic activity, or the third one, to make strenuous efforts to obtain especially money or business. Hustle. That's defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Let me give you a definition of hustle that I liked, and this comes from the Urban Dictionary. Okay, the Urban Dictionary defines hustle as to have the courage, confidence, self-belief, and self-determination to go out there and work it out until you find the opportunities you want in life. That is a powerful statement. I love it. It's mine. I want it. I want that. I want that to be part of what I do and how I live. I love that hustle is about working things until you find the opportunities you want in life. That's the beauty of having your own business. You make the rules, you make the time, and you put the effort in at whatever level you want. And it is yours. It's your baby. Now, I went on several blogs to see about the crafting industry itself, because I know, and even from reading, a lot of the times crafting doesn't get the play other industries do, because it is often thought of as a woman's industry. And women's industries, for some reason, don't get the play or the attention other ones do. I found a website, a blog actually, called Paradise, Crafters Paradise blog. And it had a lot of really good information. Did you know that we are a $44 billion industry? Now, crafting encompasses other things. It's not just, crochet or knitting, or it encompasses many things: woodworking, painting, drawing, etc. $44 billion industry, you guys. That's pretty big. And the Association for Creative Industries says we are here in America, and I think it's something that's across the board, because with internet and things like that, we are a small world. American creative industry is in a renaissance. And what does that mean? The rate, and I wrote it down because it was amazing. The U.S. creative industry is worth $43.9 billion, which is an increase of 45% from $30.1 billion when it was last measured in 2011. So in a very short period of time, this industry has grown so much. So when you think about it, and a lot of times we compare each other and say, oh gosh, this person does it better than... No, stop. It is human nature to do that, but there is room for everybody. And what I make might not be to the liking of this person, but maybe this person really likes it. And so I think that there's room for everyone. And I think that you just have to put in your effort and your time and just try it out. Because in the end, if it doesn't work out or it's not your thing, you can walk away knowing that you tried it, that you said, you know what, this is not for me. But there's room. And I spent a lot of money. Just because I make bags doesn't mean I'm never going to buy a bag again. Just because I can make polymer clay hooks doesn't mean I'm not going to buy them. We as crafters not only spend money on the main thing that we do for our craft, but we also spend money on other things, other crafts. A lot of us are not just one craft people, we're multi-crafters. We paint and we draw and we weave and we spin and we knit. So it's a huge industry, and I think that there is room for everyone. So from there, I found, bear with me, the Craft Industry Alliance. If you go on their website, they have an article that it has so much good information. It has graphs, it has statistics, and I really found it interesting. One of the things that they say is that the crafters are younger than the average American. And that's true, because I find a lot of young people who are interested in knitting, in crocheting, in needlework, and it's not things that are taught by a great-grandparent. Like, I didn't learn from my great-grandparent, but I learned from YouTube, and I learned from the internet, and from blogs, and from books. And so I think that there is a need to connect to these crafts that are not necessarily, the connection's not being made with a family member, but it's being made with this bigger industry, this bigger offering that we have access to in terms of knowledge, like I said, on YouTube and in books and in blogs. I mean, there's people that learn how to crochet and knit from a book. I couldn't do it. I tried. I couldn't do it. I would not be able to crochet now without YouTube. I really wouldn't. I didn't even know, like, for example, I didn't even know yarn shops existed until I saw a podcast. I also wanted to talk to you guys about the difference between a brand and a logo. And I think it's a difference that's important to understand. That a logo is just basically the symbol of your brand. But the brand is actually a really important thing to develop and nurture and understand. I will read you another definition. And I do apologize that I am reading these, but I cannot memorize these. There's just no way. And and I will give the credit and I will put the links to where I found everything so that you can go on your own if you like and do a little more digging. So from the site that has, those dummies books, like here's one called Small Business Marketing Kit for Dummies. So there's a whole website for the people who publish the dummies books. But the definition that they give for branding I thought was really key. And it says, your small business brand is important because it represents a promise to your customers. Your small business brand is a mental image your customers form whenever they encounter your name or logo. Your brand is what customers believe about you based on everything they've ever seen, heard, whether good, bad, true, or false. And that is really important. I will tell you a story. I will not name names. And if you think you know who this person is, please do not comment and put the person's name on this. But I won't. Let's just say that I followed a business on Instagram last year from an incredibly talented person. They were not a pattern designer. It was not a pattern thing. It was actually an actual good. It could have been a hook or a bag or a stitch marker. That's the kind of things that they made. So this person was incredibly talented. I was very close to purchasing something from them. And then there was this barrage of negativity that came their way. Just the comments and the fact that somebody started an Instagram account that had the person's name, the person's business name on it. And then it was just about all these wrongdoing, these things that the person did that they did not like. And everybody joining in. I thought, what the hell is going on here? So I did a little digging, and I believe that the way this person was running their business was not the way I would run my business. I'm more of a, if it's on my site, then it's ready to ship and sell. I don't do pre-orders. I don't do clubs. I don't do any of that because they fell into a problem of not being able to fulfill orders, taking the money and not being able to fulfill orders, and then not communicating and not fulfilling orders, and then disappearing basically and not giving people money. So they were in a bit of hot water. So then the person comes back and says, I'm a new business person. I don't know what I'm doing. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. And I will refund money to people, and I will fulfill orders. But I'm closing down, basically, is what they said. I'm getting out of the business. It's too stressful. I don't know what I'm doing. And now there's so much competition for what I do that I'm walking away, basically. And I'm very loosely paraphrasing all this stuff. It was just sort of like, this went on for months. So they go away. They just kind of disappear. And then months and months later, I see a post of a product that looked of the same quality and style as this person, but it had a different name. Well, it turned out that they had reopened the doors under a different name, and they were again selling their product. And I thought, you know what? They might have done everything right now. Like, they've caught up with orders, they've paid refund, they've done everything right. But to me, the brand was tainted. Regardless of the logo or the name of the business, the brand no longer held credibility to me because the person whose business it was is not credible because of the way they managed their business in their inception. The first, what do you call it? The way that they did it the first time, to me, was not the way that you should be doing it. And saying, I'm a first-time business owner, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, really is not an excuse, because we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect, but there's certain things that I think are common sense. And like I said, please do not name names. If you think you know who it is, you're probably not right anyway. But I learned I learned right away, no, there's no way I would run a business that way. And I read a definition, another definition that I thought was really important about brand, about why a brand is important, and I'll find it here. If you make impressions in your small business marketplace, whether proactively or unconsciously, you're building your brand. In fact, you're likely building two brands at once: a business brand for your company and a personal brand for yourself. That is, to me, the key. I think that is really important because I think that understanding that building a brand is not just about building the business, but that you yourself are the brand, and how you conduct yourself in business um, educates people as to how. Let me put that another way. I think that people might think that they know who you are because of what they see, and like the other definition says, they're gonna build their impression of you, whether good, bad, true, or untrue, based on what they see, their interactions with you. And so when you're building a business brand, I think you just have to be aware of that. I'll give you a positive example. I've been, you guys know, I'm a big fan of Faye of Knit It, Hook It, Craft It. She actually has Knit It, Hook It, Craft It, which is her online store, and her design, and she has another aspect of that, which is her design personality and the patterns that she designs. And then she's got the podcast, the Crochet Circle podcast. Based on those three components, I can tell you that I feel like, because of who Faye comes across as being, how she represents herself, the kind of customer service she has provided in the past when I've ordered from her site, and because of the patterns and how she presents patterns, I feel like her brand is really strong, and that I have no issues not only buying from Faye, but I know the quality that I'm going to get from her. Like, I know that when I buy from Faye, the quality is going to be excellent. It's not, like I said, excellence is not perfection to me. Okay, I'm not looking for perfect. I'm looking for good quality, good customer service, a good quality product, and she goes above and beyond. So her brand to me is, it's an awesome brand. It's a reliable brand. It's a brand that I would recommend to anybody, and every day and twice on Sunday, you know. And sort of like, that's how, what I am shooting for with my business. I want people to feel like, you know, I have not only a good brand, but I have a good product. And that is my goal as a business. That is part of my craft hustle, is trying to chase those things. But it's never easy, and it's not perfect, because what you find is, and you hear about yarn shop owners talk about this all the time, how, you know, once you open the yarn shop, you don't knit anymore because you're doing the business part of it. And that's exactly true with even having the tiniest of Etsy shops, is that you find that the, and I love all aspects of it. Don't get me wrong. I love designing. I love sewing. I love the process of sewing. But that means that every time I'm sewing or designing, or photographing or uploading, I'm not crocheting. So the crochet has slowed down, but it's all part of it now, and I love it. But business things like accounting and bookkeeping and taxes are a reality of being a business owner. And let me tell you, putting my bookkeeper's hat on, that you don't want to let it go too long, because nobody wants to do it. Let me tell you, I spent many years with shoe boxes that people brought me because they don't even want to look at the paperwork. But it has to be part of the whole thing. It has to be part of what you're doing, is trying to keep up with that paperwork. Because if you don't do it, when it comes to tax time, and I know most of us have to deal with that, it's just such a pain in the ass. One of the things that I also want to talk about is about logo design. And I'll just briefly touch on that only because when I debuted my Crochet Luna logo a couple months back, I did get some questions about the design of it. Now, I use a company called 90 Designs on Etsy. I will put a link to them. And it's a pretty fantastic service. You pay a fee, and it's not a lot of money. And they send you like a questionnaire, and you tell them about your business, about sort of the things that you think you might want in the design of your logo. And they create little samples that they send you, and there is unlimited revisions. You know, once you settle on a logo, you keep working it and working it until you get what you want. They are the company that I used to create the original Crochet Luna logo, which I will show you. Looked like this. And you notice there's a crochet hook. There is a needle right here. This is supposed to be a needle, and then you've got your yarn ball, and you've got your moon, which Luna is Spanish for moon. This logo, I originally liked, but it became unusable in social media because of the size and shape of it. It just was so difficult to fit into the parameters of Etsy, of Instagram, of Facebook. Every one of those social sites has a parameter for their thumbnails or their headings, and this thing was a nightmare to deal with because the background color creates this rectangle, which just made it so difficult to work with. But that's what I had for a long time. I had business cards made with it. I had a mug made with it. And when I thought about revamping the logo, and I think I did it at the beginning of the year or something like that. When I thought about revamping the logo, I thought, I need something that doesn't have a colored background, first of all. But I knew I wanted to keep the yarn ball and the crochet hook and the moon to be part of the logo. So when I talked to the designer, I said, these are the elements I want to keep. Show me some of the ideas that you can come up with. And I'll show you two. This was one of them. See how it says Crochet Luna. But again, it's so long that I thought, God, this is going to be difficult. The moon was sort of like washed, it was up here and it was being lassoed in the yarn ball. And you still had the crochet hook right there. But still, I was like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. So then he sent me this. And I thought, well, okay, here's your crochet hook. It's actually two hooks. And here's the moon, but there's no yarn ball. So I didn't like this. And I remember thinking, I was a little frustrated because I thought, no, there was a third design, which I don't have access to. I don't know what happened to it. And I thought, no, I just did not like that. So, and I never sent them like a picture of, I just said, these are the elements that I want. I like these colors. What can you come up with? But then I went to the Mandalas from Marinka exhibit. I believe it was like a week or two before I was working on this project. And I remember I had mandalas in the brain. And I really liked the way mandalas look. And so that was swimming around in my subconscious. That was something that was in the back of my head. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to sit down and I'm going to design the logo. And then they can just clean it up. And then I'll be happy because it's actually my design. And I thought, the moon is such a big part of what I want the logo to be, that I sat down and I did several sketches, and I'll show you. This is the sketch that I actually sent to the designer to make the logo. And I blew it up so that you can see it. This is a rough sketch. You see, it's just a moon. I said, oh, this will be the yarn ball, and here's a crochet hook, and then here's the Luna part. So this is a little drawing that I sent to him. But this little moon mandala part, which is roughly done, I got an idea of looking at mandalas on the internet, and I found this design that I really liked. So I sent them this reference with this mandala. And then that's when he, because I remember it was a he, came up with my current logo, which I absolutely love. The only thing that changed from the original draft is that the yarn ball here was not touching the moon. It was separate and there was a space and it kind of bothered me. So I said, let's have that moon touching the yarn ball right here. The crochet hook was fine. Nothing changed from the original design he came up with after I sent him the drawing, except for this part right here. And you can see the moon has this really pretty design inside. So this is the current design that I have for my logo, which I love, 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 love. It hasn't been a problem working with it. I've actually done, my pin actually has a little bit of a different look to it because it's got some stars, and I've actually done another incarnation of the logo for a different project that I'll share later on down the road, not today, because it's still a process. I'm still working on it basically. But yeah, so this is the logo, and as soon as I saw it, I said, yeah, that's it. And that's sort of like how I approach the things that I design and I come up with. I say, yes, I get that moment. I get that moment where I'm like, that's it. That's what I want. And until I get that feeling or I have that moment, I keep working and working at it. So it hasn't always been easy. They haven't always been winners. I'll share one of my business fails that I consider a design fail because it just didn't work out. I designed a pin a while ago that was going to be the Crochet Friends pin, and I did a sketch of it, and I'll show you the sketch. This was the sketch of the original pin. It was going to say, Crochet Friends are the best of friends, have some yarn balls, have the crochet hook, and have these, like, it was like a wreath pattern. I can't tell you how much of a frustration it was and how just it was an unpleasant experience trying to design this pin. I had language problems with several of the people. It wasn't just one designer I was dealing with. It wasn't like they said, oh, you know, we'll help you design. It was like every step of the way, I had to communicate to them what I wanted, how I wanted it changed. And there were things that if I'm a designer, I would think intuitively, something doesn't look right. Let me change it and show it to the customer. No, it was like, I'll give you an example. So this was the final draft of the pin before I went to print. It got made. What was a wreath on my drawing became this weird pattern with weird spacing around it. You see the spacing where I had to circle and say, you know what, can you move this up a little bit? Can you separate it was like a nightmare. And then the font, the original font, I must have gone through about 5 or 6 different kinds of fonts that they provided, which none of them look right. I actually downloaded this font, and I thought when I sent it to them and they sent me this, I'm like, well, that's okay. But I always thought, you know what, I gotta see maybe the finished pin and then I'll somehow love it. But you live and learn. No, if it doesn't look good here, then the actual physical pin is not going to look good. And I'll show you, because I actually had the pins made. This was my original Crochet Luna pin. And you can't read that. I mean, you can't read what it says. And I thought part of the reason I wanted to make this pin is so that you could read what I had come up with, which is Crochet Friends are the best of friends. And first of all, it's too small. This is a 1-inch pin. It's just too small compared to the current pin. You can see this is 1 1/4 inches. This one right here is 1 1/4 inches, as opposed to this one here. And I got it. I got the pin. And when I opened the box and I took it out, and I thought, I hate it. I don't like it, and I won't sell it, because if I don't get the moment where I think, yes, this is it, this is what I want, then how can I stand behind this product and sell it? So this was a big fail. It was a learning process. It was a learning experience. That's what I chalk it up to. And I'm glad it happened, because now I approach the design of the pin in a little bit different way. And it's one of the reasons I'm really, really happy with my current Crochet Friends pin, because I think it's exactly what I was thinking in my head that I wanted. I love the way this pin looks. And by the way, all three of my pins, all three of, excuse me, all three of the Crochet Luna pins that I've designed are now available in Faye's shop in the UK. Because I had so many lovely people ask me about the pins, and they were just so bummed out when they saw the price of shipping them from here in the States to the UK. I even had somebody from the Netherlands, someone from Australia. I've had people that just, they want them, but it's just not very cost effective to get them over there because of the shipping. And so now if you go on Faye's Knit It, Hook It, Craft It website, you can find all three of the pins there, and then you'll just be paying your normal amount of postage. So I just wanted to say that thank you to Faye for doing that. I think that's wonderful. And like I said, all three of these beauties can be yours from Faye's website or from my Etsy shop. Yes, you can get them there. And I am already designing another enamel pin. And between designing the enamel pins, I have designed some other buttons that will be coming your way, which I'm really, really excited about. So that's it for the craft hustle. I know that it's probably, some of you are probably like, why is she spending time talking about this? But it's where I'm at. You know, I am trying to do this, and I'm trying to, and I'm learning, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I love, like I said, I love designing. So to close off the segment, I want to leave you with two quotes, one inspirational quote, another quote, and a giveaway. It's from Anne Sweeney, who is a co-chair of Disney Media. And she says, "Define success on your own terms, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life you're proud to live." I love that quote. So for the giveaway for this episode, I want you to come up with your own inspirational quote. I'll share the one that I came up with. It says, "Embrace your craft hustle and be proud of what you create." And I put my name down here. So I want you to come up with your own inspirational quote. I want you to print it out, and I want you to put your name on it so everybody knows that these are your words. And I want you to share it on the thread that I am going to open up on Ravelry. So see how I've put little stickers on mine, and this little sticker here, I want you to make it pretty. I want you to share a picture. Don't just type it out. I want you to print it out, make it pretty, put your name on it, and share it as, let's say, as an FO on that thread. And that will enter you into a giveaway for somebody who I think is doing great at his craft hustle, and that's Quaylen of the Quo Podcast. If you do not follow Quaylen on Instagram, I suggest you do, because he is definitely doing the craft hustle. He is got patterns from Red Heart. He's got pins, he's got yarn, he's got a podcast, he's doing book reviews. He's working it. I mean, he really is. And he gifted me a while back his Stash Buster pin, which I will be putting up as a giveaway prize, as well as two of his little buttons right here. The break the status, and his little logo Again, I love the logo. And I will throw in my newest crochet pin with that. So you will be getting one of these as well. So come up with your inspirational quote with your own words, print it out, put your name on it, and share it with the hashtag. And I'll put the hashtag right here. And it's going to be hashtag craft hustle quote. So I can, if you go on Instagram and you look up at that hashtag, you'll see what everybody who is on Instagram has shared. So that's the giveaway for this episode. I thank you so much for your time to listen to my little segment here. But let's get back to some yarny goodness. Let's talk finished objects. I have one crochet finished object, and that is my Treasure Island shawl from Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. I really wasn't planning on doing this shawl right now, but it happened that Sandra gifted me, when she visited, a really beautiful hank of yarn, and I thought I wanted to do something with it right away, and it was perfect. It was a one skein project. I started it, and this is when my gauge issue started. I was working on the shawl, and then I was off on my stitch count. So I go back and I realize, you know what? I'm not going to have enough yarn to finish a shawl. Just no way. And I remember I was on Instagram Live and I was telling people, what do I do? Do I frog the whole thing? Do I try and fade it? And I came up with a little bit different solution. What I did is I frogged it back. Oh, well, first of all, let me show it to you. Here it is. She's beautiful. I call mine the Treasured Friends shawl because the pattern is by my friend Hannah, and I got the beautiful yarn from Sandra, who is a lovely crochet friend as well. And so what I did was I decided that instead of trying to fade, I was already like to this point, like right here on the original attempt. So I didn't have this other different color part. And then I realized I was not going to have enough yarn to finish it off. So I took it back and I found this really pretty yarn by Laser Sheep Yarns. And I included this middle block of yarn. You can see it's such a pretty color. I just love this color. And I thought it really picked up on the other colors that were in the yarn that Sandra gifted to me. This yarn here is Stranded Dye Works, I believe. Let me see, I did write it down. Stranded Dye Works, which is Amy Florence, and Laser Sheep Yarn. And it's huge. It's really, really big. I love it. I love how it came out. And it's a great pattern. I'm thinking about doing another. You know me, I like to do more than one. Thinking about doing another one. It was a quick and easy make. It's exactly what I needed at the time. My only frustration is that this is what started my gauge issue, because I used the recommended hook size. I thought it was going to be okay, but I'm crocheting so much more loosely than I've ever had before that it created this issue. But I kind of liked how it, when you see it here as a block, as a color block, it looks really nice. So I'm really happy with it. And it was living in my beautiful Hannah made bag, which has all the things that I love, which are Frida and Sugar Skulls. So thank you, Hannah, for my beautiful bag. And actually, Hannah gifted me another bag just like this for the podcast, and I'm saving for a giveaway in July. Yes, because I think July is her birthday, so I'm planning a little Frida themed podcast sometime down the road. But yes, this is my beautiful bag and my beautiful shawl and my crochet finish object. Let's talk about my whips. I actually had to pause recording because it's my kids' open house, so I stopped recording, went to open house, and now I'm back. So the lighting is not so great. But let's talk about my whips. I have two. Yes, two. So the first one you've seen before, it is my eyeball shawl, which is a pattern that I was working for the Fortune Cookie Cow. It is by Alex Reynoso of Alex Creates. And part of the reason why this is not finished is I'm waiting for more yarn to be dyed from the yarn dyer, from the dyer, White Pigments. When I first showed you this, I only had an iris. Now I have an iris and part of the eyeball part, but I have run out of yarn. So I've run out of yarn, miserably run out of yarn, and I am waiting. This is really pretty. More yarn to be dyed. And hopefully once I get that, then this will be finished and it's going to be amazing. So this is my eyeball shawl by Alex Reynoso, and this is my shawl that I was wanting to finish for the Fortune Cookie Cow. So once this is done, it's going to be pretty fabulous, I think. So next, I have a whip you haven't seen. It is a pattern that is in Simply Crochet Magazine, issue 70. So it is basically, I think, second to the last issue, I believe. That is called Sleeveless Top by Wendy Yarns. I was able to print a picture of it to show you. So it's like really pretty meshy top. And the pattern is very simple and nice, and it's the first pattern where I've actually ordered the yarn that the pattern suggested that you use, which is a Wendy's yarn. It's called Wendy Love It. It's a DK weight yarn. And it's 100% acrylic. It's really soft. It's nice. It's nice to work with. I haven't had any problem working with the yarn. It's this really bright, vibrant red color. And that, I'm working on the back, and I have this much. I decided to do the red because they were completely out of the blue color that the pattern is done in. So this will be my top that I'm hoping to have done soon. And that is living in my entry to the Dodgy bag now, which is this super awesome Snoopy bag. I love it. I love it. I can't even tell you. I love Snoopy so much. I'm a huge Snoopy fan. I'm not a big Peanuts fan, but I am a huge Snoopy fan. And when I saw this fabric, it's a fabric that has three panels. And so I got 3 of the panels, and I made 2 and 2 bags, and then I sent the larger panel of the 3 off as a gift to someone. And it's another big I think she's a big Charlie Brown fan, so she's a big Peanuts fan, but I lined it with this pretty heart fabric, and this is my entry into the Dodgy bag mail. It was really tricky to make this bag because I had to cut the panel. The panel here is not perfectly square. It was a real challenge. I had to piece it together in such a way that it worked. I added this fabric down here, but you can see it's not perfect. I mean, I've got some of the black showing down here. It's straight, but it's just, but I don't mind. I love it. And so that's where my sleeveless top is living in. And I did not share with you guys what the price is going to be for the chatter thread of the Dodgy bag mail. It is going to be, I think I shared it on Instagram Live. it's going to be the following. It's going to be a bag made by me with the cute llamas. So this is going to be part of the prize. So it's this one right here. It's got nice white fabric inside. And then it's going to be a hang of Lemonade Shop yarn. It's really pretty yarn right here. This is the colorway Sugar Plum Fairy. Again, because of the lighting, it's a little bit darker, it's showing up a little bit darker, but it's very pretty yarn. And you will also get my new pin, as well as your own Dodgy bag pin. So this is going to be the prize for someone from the chatter thread. I believe Allie will also have a prize as well that you will get from entering your entry into the FO thread on her Ravelry page. So that's the prize for the Dodgy bag mal. Next, I have, let's see, I have, what is in this bag? Oh, I have a third work in progress. Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot. So this is my beautiful bag with otters and moons from the lovely Ashley of Ash Love Makes. Here's her card. She also has a podcast that she does in Spanish and in English. And what's living in here is a project that I have been dying to start. And finally, I actually started this yesterday because all of the projects that I've shown you are projects that I'm not taking out of the house because I kind of have to think about the pattern, and I just don't like to take fussy things outside the house. Not that it's overly fussy to do that top, but it does have, it's a 3-row repeat and I don't have it memorized yet. So I got to keep looking at my, my phone or my tablet. And so I decided, you know what, I need to take something with me that's simple. And I started my Lucinda Shawl and love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank God. This pattern has a schematic and it has a graph, which I really like. It's this one right here. I've seen it. You've seen it before. I barely started this, you guys. I mean, it's not even worth showing. Look, it's right here. I just started doing, I'm 3 rows into it, basically. And that's all. I'm using Malabrigo yarn, and it's really pretty eggplant color. And this is, this other yarn is called, this is from Yarn Rehab. This is this really pretty magenta color. And that one is called Deep Wine Orchid. So that's my Lucinda that I started working on yesterday and living in my very cute. And I love the size of Ashley's bags. If you have a chance, she has an Etsy shop. Check it out. They're nice and deep. I like these bags. I like how she constructs her bags. So that's my third work in progress, which I completely forgot about. Now let's go to Happy Mail. Let's go to what I like to call Yarnopolis. I have a segment of Yarnopolis that's pretty cool. One thing I forgot to share with you last podcast, but I have some pretty cool things. I got a really cool letter or postcard from Haley up in the Yukon Territory, and it was this. She says that she was helping out with a fundraiser to send these cards out, and it is about this mail carrier called Percy the Wolf, who delivered mail 102 miles, was it his trek? It was like some ridiculously long, yes, faithfully carried the winter mail 102 miles along the Yukon River. Look at that. You see that? So he trekked in, and he did it with sled dogs and snow plows, and I mean, he did it. He was legendary. And so she sent me this really lovely, lovely card. So thank you, Haley. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'll actually put the information of the webpage so that you can go read more on it. It's really interesting. Um, that's why I wonder sometimes where like my mail carrier sometimes gets upset because the car is parked too close to the mailbox and they actually have to get out to put the mail in the thing. And I'm like, really? Because Percy the wolf carried mail for 102 miles through snow and all kinds of treacherous conditions, but my mail carrier sometimes gets upset when they have to get out of their little car and put the mail in the mailbox. Whatever. She's actually not that bad. But anyway, let's keep it good. It's positive. I got the most fantastic, out of the blue, wonderful anniversary gift. I'm just blown away. Like, who would remember to send little old me something to celebrate her anniversary? First of all, let's look at the card. Look at that awesome card. Yes, I love it. So Helen is in Ireland, and she sent me this bronze ornament right here to celebrate my 10-year anniversary. And I'm going to attempt to see what this is. A Clayda ring. Clayda ring? And it says the crown here stands for loyalty, and the heart right here stands for love, and the hands stand for friendship. So I want to say thank you so much to Helen for thinking about me and sending me this wonderful, wonderful gift. I love it. She's like, oh, you could use it as an ornament for the Christmas tree. No, this is going to be up 365 in my kitchen. I already have a spot for it so that everybody can see it. I showed it to my husband. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful piece, and I thank you so much that you took the time to send me this amazing card and that lovely, lovely gift. I also got for Yarnopolis, I have no yarn. There's no yarn to be shown here, but there is a cowl that's going to happen in the fall that is going to be the sock along. We don't have it. I don't have any details as to when the start date, and I don't have any details as to the details of the cowl, but I know that Faye wants to put this together, and I have been watching some Spanish podcasts, as I've told you. I'm actually going to record my second Spanish podcast this weekend. And I found a podcaster that I really love, and she has a Spanish podcast called Knit es Tejer. Tejer is actually to knit in Spanish. Her mother, well, the podcaster's name is Marianela Gallo. Her mother is an incredible, incredible craft person. She sews, crochets, knits at a master level. It is absolutely beautiful what she does. So I follow her on Instagram, and I saw that she posted these bags. And I thought, you know, God, they are so cool. So I ordered 2 that I thought would be perfect for the crochet along that's going to happen in the fall. These are little sock bags. See that? And look at the attention to detail. She put a little hank of yarn that she did herself. She's got these beautiful little tags here. And her name is, I'm going to butcher it. Amalia? Ailema. And her Instagram name is Ailema Loca. I'll put all the details so that you can see it. Now, she does have an Etsy shop. I don't know that the bags are there. Oh, I didn't show you the other one. So here's the purple one. And it's got a yellow hank. Aren't these so cute? The attention to detail is incredible. The quality of her sewing, the quality of her sewing is incredible. See, you can put your sock project in there. So I got one for myself, and I got one that will be a giveaway in the sock along that we're gonna do in the fall. But I love these. I love these. So I'm sorry. So to get back to what I was saying, I don't think you can purchase these on Etsy. She only does one-of-a-kind runs, and then she posts them on Instagram, and then you contact her, and then she bills you through PayPal. Excuse me, and then you get your bag. She had other bags that are of different sizes, and like I said, you just have to tune in to her updates, because these things they just fly. I mean, I was lucky to get two. They come from Spain, so I'll tell you, they're not inexpensive, but I think they are absolutely beautiful. And like I say, they're one of a kind. I've not seen anything like this before, and they are just wonderful little bags. So that is my Yarnopolis segment. Thank you all who are still with me. I know this is a little bit long, but thank God I have notes, because I really need to stay on track, or else I would probably forget to mention half the stuff that I've talked about. I wanted to say, oh, there was one other thing that I really wanted to share with you guys, that I think is a pretty cool thing going on. There is an Instagram magazine called Crochet that was started with, I don't have a Sharma, who is Sweet Sharma, Chrissy from Chrissy Crafts, and Sarah, who is Annaboo's House. They started this amazing concept of putting an Instagram magazine out every month. I think it's a monthly thing. If you have not seen it, please go check it out. It's fabulous. They'll have a giveaway, an interview, a pattern, and I'll share the pattern that I did, which was this one, for a little coaster. Now I have changed it. Let me see. Yeah, this way. Now the lighting is not that great, but on Instagram I had done some surface crochet to the middle of it. If you check out my Instagram account, you'll see it. I didn't like it that way, and after I did it, I wasn't sold 100%, so I took it off. So I ended up with this little coaster. What I don't like is I think this dark yarn here, and I just use these little scraps that I had here on my desk. I don't like the way the dark makes it look like an eyeball. So I'm going to do a couple more of these, but I'll do them in cotton, and I'll just make better color choices. I just wanted to try the pattern. Super easy pattern. Check out Crochet Zine. I think there's a new edition coming out on the 30th. So I will put the Instagram link to it. I think it's such a great idea, because I said to Chrissy in a comment, it's exactly what you set out to do. I sat with I think I was having lunch. I flip. I read a cool interview. I saw a nice pattern. And it was just like in the span of like 25 minutes, and I was done, and it was entertaining. It was well done. And yeah, I think you guys should check that out. Then let's see. Oh, you see this book that I have here? I just got it. I got it in the mail on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. I am so excited about this book. Again, I saw this on Instagram from an Instagrammer. Her name is Sonia Phillips, and she actually does sewing patterns. She posted that this book was coming out. Print Pattern Sew. I've never heard of this lady. Her name is Jen Hewitt, but she had me at the prints. Now, like I said, I just got the book. I flipped through the book. I'm blown away. It shows you how to make your own blocks so that you can make the patterns on fabric. That's what she does with her stuff. Let me see if I can find some pictures. You see that? So she makes these blocks, and then you transfer those onto fabric, and then you can make different things like she's got patterns here for a tote, for a blouse, for aprons. See that? So once you make the block, you can duplicate the pattern on fabric. And it shows you, this is what I loved. Look at this fabric on this bag. And there's a pattern for that too. So it has the patterns. It shows you how to cut into the blocks. Here are some of the patterns. So you would photocopy this, buy a block. The supplies are in here. It tells you what it is. The only reason I know about this stuff is because I was huge into printmaking in art school. Printmaking was my jam. I loved doing etchings and working with the print, what's it called? Silk screening and things like that. I love doing all that. As a matter of fact, I found it in my old sketchbook. I had one of these. I don't know if you can see it very well. This is one of my monotypes that I did in college. And a monotype is basically you take a zinc plate, which is usually used for etchings, and you roll ink onto it. You do a drawing or whatever you're going to do. Then you press it on the paper in a printing press. You get one image, therefore the name mono. You get one image, and if you're lucky, you can run again and get a ghost print, but you will only get the one solid image. But printmaking was something that I really, really enjoyed, and when I saw that in this book, she talks about doing these patterns and working with the blocks and cutting into the blocks, it was like, I have to have it. If you see here, you buy the blocks like this, and then you have to carve out the image, and then you ink that, and then you use it to do whatever, fabric, paper. But this book just came out. It just came out this week, and I will put the link to it. If you're interested if you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I haven't thoroughly gone to it, but I will be doing something out of it because I love it. The last thing I want to do is talk about the Etsy shop. So you guys know I have an Etsy shop, and in it are my pins, which thank you so much to anyone who has bought a pin from my Etsy shop. I've had a couple bag sales, but I have some bags I'll show you. A couple of these are in my shop right now, and then a couple of them I just finished a couple days ago. So this bag here is in my shop, available right now, and I've been playing around with putting these little ribbons here for to hold a little something to put a stitch marker, because one of the things I always do like about the zippered bag is that you can attach a little stitch marker. So I decided, I think that this here worked out really good, but I also have done bags where I've put it on top as well. So this bag is available. I try and do fabrics that are not too crazy on the inside, because when you're looking for stuff, it's kind of hard to see it if it's dark, if it's a dark lining. Then this bag here is another one that has the little moon stitch marker, and it has poppy seed fabric. This fabric is what was left over of the bag I made for Sandra at Cherry Heart. It has poppies. Poppies are the official flower of California, so I really like this one. And then I made a guitar themed bag I find these fabrics and they're different to me, so I like them. So here's this one right here. It's a good size bag. It's got the white lining in it. This one does not have a stitch holder, but it's still very cute. And then I have the big bag, which is what I want. I really like this to be my signature bag, because this is the bag that I think, the bag size that I really love and functions well for me as a crocheter who ends up carrying lots of yarn and bigger projects. So this is a nice big bag. Again, this is the guitars, but the bottom part of it here are notes, musical notes. And inside again is white. So I have 4 bags available, and I have another 5 that I'll be finishing up. Probably, I want to say by next Wednesday, I should have an additional 5 bags in the Etsy shop. That is it. That's all I have. This is part of my craft hustle. So I want to say thank you so much, and thank you for sticking with me this long. Hope that everything is going well for you guys, and that you are looking forward to a fabulous summer. Summer is just around the corner for us here. I know it's winter in Australia, which is kind of, it always throws me off, but I think that's really cool. I'm looking forward to a nice summer of crafting and cow goodness. I have, ooh, you guys, I have a huge announcement before I forget. I will be in Las Vegas in August. Let me double check my dates before I even say anything. All right. I'm so excited about this. Okay. I will be in August I will be in Las Vegas in August, from August 12th through August 15th. I am going there to crochet. There are a couple people who I will not mention, who podcast, who will be there with me crocheting. So I will extend the invitation to anybody who wants to come to Las Vegas on those days. Mainly it's going to be on the Monday and the Tuesday, because I'll be driving up on Sunday and driving back on the Wednesday. But I want to extend the invitation to anybody who wants to come crochet, to hit me up, send me a message, let me know. If you're interested, I would like to see if we can get together and just hang out and crochet. That's basically all I want to do. I have contacted the local yarn shop there to see if they would host a crochet meeting at the shop. I haven't heard back, but if nothing else, we can just find a public place and like meet up and crochet. But yes, I will be in Las Vegas in August, and I do have confirmation that 2 other people who podcast will be crocheting with me. So it might be a good time to book a couple days in Las Vegas and hang out and crochet with us. So I mean, knitters have these incredible retreats that I hear about all the time. I've yet to hear someone, this is not by any means a crochet retreat. No. This is not a crochet retreat. This is just a crochet meetup. Let's just call it that. But I hear about these incredible knitting retreats, and I think, man, somebody needs to put together a crochet retreat so that we can go somewhere beautiful and crochet and eat good food. So this is just my attempt to hang out with my crochet sisters and crochet brothers if they're out there, if you guys want to come out. But that's confirmation of that happened today, and I'm really happy to share that with you. Like I said, if you have any questions, just send me in, just contact me, let me know. I am Crochet Luna on Instagram, Ravelry here on YouTube. My blog is Crochet Luna. I am looking to do something with my blog. I have some ideas. And on Facebook, I am also Crochet Luna. Please like and subscribe. I'm so happy to be growing the channel with you, with your support. That's the only way it happens. So take care, crochet on, Have a good week. I will see you in June for Summer of Romance. Get those bad boys and bad girls ready. I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. And I'm sending you a big hug, and bye for now. Bye.